Welcome to Inspired Living Through Writing, a personal development experience. In this session, we're going to explore the differences between critique and criticism, and we'll find ways to give and receive encouragement. Hi, I'm Denny Stockdale, and I'm on a mission to create a kinder world through writing, music, and the power of encouragement. You can find out more about me on our website at www.thekindnessconcert.com. Now, critique or criticism, here's a few quick examples of what falls in each category. When somebody's giving you feedback on your writing, they're not attached, they're making suggestions, they're encouraging, they're gentle, kind, and they really want you to improve. They've got reasons behind their suggestions, and often they're good reasons. You don't always have to accept those. On the other side, criticism is condemning or challenging, making demands that you make their changes, you do it their way. And that's discouraging. It can be harsh, cruel, and lead to a lot of disapproval. And now here's an example in one writing group that I was in, where an email was sent at 3 o'clock in the morning to one of our members. The member had been writing one of his life stories, and it was his 15th or 16th time of sending it to the group for review. This gentleman, if you will, sent this feedback. Ray, this story sucks. It is one long rant from 60 years ago. We all had bad teachers. This is nothing special. Yada, yada, yada. Well, fortunately, Ray had resilience, and the rest of our group was able to rise up and stand with him. Earlier in that same group with a different set of members, I was encouraged when I was working on my first book. And after one of my review sessions that went on for almost an hour, our leader at that time asked me, Denny, do you feel like you've been beat up enough? And I smiled and I said, no, I don't feel beat up at all. I feel lifted up. Because that was the intention. That's the difference between critique and criticism, feedback or condemnation. So receiving feedback, ask for what you want. If you're writing a piece and you aren't clear on what part of the story might come out as or come out like, go ahead and ask for, what are your suggestions in this area? How would you handle this? Appreciate all feedback, because that's really what it is. It's just feedback, just suggestions. And be aware of your filters and your triggers. Take what you want and leave the rest, and say thank you. Now, accepting feedback. Take a deep breath. Look at the person giving you feedback, but not in a weird way. Take notes. That implies that you're listening, and you really are. And those notes might be valuable to you at some point. And stay neutral with all suggestions, or better yet, appreciative. And decide what fits and what doesn't fit. It's your writing. And who knows, one of their suggestions may trigger a thought that helps you take the story in a whole new direction that you never considered. And don't criticize the criticizer. Now, when giving feedback, be kind. Suggest, don't demand. Slow down the pace of your feedback, especially if you see they're getting upset. Maybe you triggered something and you can pause and ask, would a different time be better to get this feedback? Or is this too much for you at this point? Be kind. Don't argue for your suggestions. Give your reasons, and then let the writer decide what's best for them. When I give feedback or I make suggestions on how to edit a piece, I have reasons I've done that. And often they're my reasons and often valid based on my knowledge at that point in time. And then it's up to the writer, the author of the piece, to actually make their own decisions. And state your case without getting in someone's face. And breathe and celebrate the writing. And really appreciate the trust that someone has given you. When somebody gives me a piece of their writing to look at, to review, especially if it's before publication or something very private and personal, It's up to me to honor them with that trust they gave me and really appreciate that to the best of my ability. So a few action items. Choose your own way to ask for and to give feedback. Learn to detach from comments that don't fit. Write about the types of comments that encourage you, and appreciate all comments. And finally, be kind with feedback, especially towards yourself. And if you choose to, find people to connect with who have similar stories. And in our community, we'll all be sharing stories from time to time. And I hope that we can build a number of communities and special interest groups, perhaps. Instruction does much, but encouragement does everything. I'm Denny Stockdale. Thanks for watching and for participating in Inspired Living Through Writing, our session on critique or criticism. And please join our community at thekindnessconcert.com.